And hello. Welcome to another episode of Success Scopes. Some people, I know you guys have off today and hope you are enjoying your 3-day weekend, getting some time to relax and really understand what the day is about. So for those who don't know me, my name is Carolyn R. Owens, and I'm the chairwoman and CEO of Infinity Coaching Incorporated, where we help you up-level your skills so you can up-level your income. And so we're here on Mondays at 2 p.m. and Fridays at 2 p.m. And on Mondays, we share some tips and strategies that you can implement that help you move forward in your life, your business, your career, really to have success on your own terms. And then we hop on here Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. where we do our real talk. We take some of the tips and strategies that we've been sharing with you and we give you some real life examples of how you can actually implement it, some actual application. So, hi Carolyn Farron, I see that you joined in there. That's why I got caught off guard. I didn't know if you'd make it today, because I think it's a day off for you as well. But thank you for being here. I think you set the alert that when I pop on here, it sends you a message. I think a couple people have done that. So thank you guys for being here with me, for those who are always showing up and supporting the scopes here. I hope it provides a lot of valuable information for you. So I was just saying how we're here Mondays at 2 p.m. and Fridays at 2 p.m. and then Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. where we do our real talk. And so I wasn't here all last week, and I think once we get into our topic, I'll kind of explain why I wasn't able to hop on. Because we're talking today about who are you really. And so today we're thank you. Today we have, like I said, a lot of people have the day off, not everybody, to celebrate Martin Luther King's holiday here today. And so we celebrate hi Melody, thank you for being here. Another girl boss there. She has her business and she's killing it. We have the third Monday off every January, although his birthday is January 15th. And so we celebrate his life and his legacy and what he stood for with a man who brought hope and healing to America at a time that was needed through a lot of nonviolent ways. And I think that's one of the important things that we overlook. And today we're becoming more aggressive of how we solve situations. But he had a nonviolent way of doing things. Went to jail 29 times, went through a lot of harassment. But he paid the ultimate price for having equality, for having that goal of having equality here in America. And so it's also meant to be a day of service and a day that we give back. And for me, in everything I do, that's been a big, oh yes, for many he was. Melody just wrote, thanks MLK was such an inspiration. And for many he was. And again, it's all going to tie into, the reason I'm opening with this is it's going to tie into the who are you really, what I want to talk about today. And so for me, a lot of my life has been about service. I served 24 years in the military. And now what I do with my coaching business and my radio show, or our radio show is all about highlighting people who are giving back and helping others have better lives and better careers and really strengthening and growing their businesses. And those are the type of guests we bring on, that we interview. And we also bring on leaders of nonprofits and different things that are really making a difference, that are making an impact. Those are the type of guests that we like to interview. So if you are making a difference, or you have your business and you'd like to be interviewed on the show, definitely send me an email at cowens@infinitycoaching.net, and we can talk about how it fits into the interviews we do. But also in the work I do as a coach and the training, really trying to make a difference and an impact. And he was also a man of action. And you often hear a lot of times when we're talking about our careers, our business, our life, our dreams, we'll talk about it, but are we taking action? Are we really taking action towards our goals and the things that we desire to have in life that will not, by improving our own lives, it creates a ripple effect where we can influence and help the lives of others just by also being a role model and example. And I think we're losing some of that aspect of it as well, not understanding and realizing by the actions and steps we take, or the inaction we take, and how it influences others. But he was a man, he put his life on the line pretty much every day, and he paid the ultimate price. But it's a day where we talk about celebrating equality, the differences, regardless of what race, ethnicity, religion you are. We're often placed in this box, and there's certain assumptions or judgments that are made by this box that we're put in. And there's also you can add economic status, where we grew up, our education level, all of these different things that make us who we are. We're put in this box and we're judged by those things. Or and when we talk about economic status, I'm of the belief that the middle class is kind of fading out, and you either have or you don't. So that judgment and that characterization of who we are is becoming more of that divide of either you have it or you don't, and how we look at each other and how we judge each other. And so it's not just about race inequality now. We're actually, if you're from the South, if you're from the East, if you're from the West Coast, there are certain things that we're judged for just from the moment we walk in the door. So it's not just the color of our skin, it's other things that we're now looking at each other at and really, really making these judgments and assessments against each other. But it's a day where we're supposed to celebrate those differences of, who we are, where we come from, our heritage, and really be proud of who we are. But I don't think a lot of people are really embracing who they really are. So I was watching an episode. You guys hear me talk about Gary Vaynerchuk a lot, about Gary V. And he was saying how society puts this one label on us. So like if you're a basketball player, they look at you as being a basketball player, and that's all you know. You can't be running this multi-million-dollar company because you only know how to play basketball. Or you're an entrepreneur, and that's it. You're not supposed to have, like, you can't go play a piano and do a concert, because all you should be doing is knowing about entrepreneurship and running that business. Either you're a teacher, or as a teacher, a coach. So they put this label on you, and that's who you are supposed to be. You're this one entity. You're this one person. And so it's got me thinking about how all of this can shape who we are and who we become, because it starts when we're young. It starts with our parents really saying, this is the path you need to take, or you've got to become this in life. And so you end up being something or doing something that you really didn't want to do, that you don't have any passion about. There's no real life behind it for you. And we go down this path and we get into this box and we get into this label that we think that that's where we're supposed to play, is in this little box, in this little area. Hi, Danielle. I see you joined us. Thank you so much for being here. And so again, it starts with our parents, and then school telling us which category we're supposed to be in. I have a son. I'm a single parent, African-American boy, teenage boy. And I will tell you, when we moved, I was military, and we moved to one place. The moment he walked in the door, they judged him. But he approved them wrong in his academic ability. But it was just amazing how they didn't know my military background. But when they, immediately looked at certain things, it was like, oh, well, he belongs here. When in essence, that wasn't really where he belonged. But it was a label that was placed on him immediately at that school system. But we sit here and we use that basic information, and we immediately judge somebody, or we look at somebody a certain way, that it kind of begins to interfere in our own mind on who do we think we are, but who are we really. And so my son is totally different from me, and that was one of the things I had to learn and accept, that how does he build on his own strengths and weaknesses, and how does he end up learning how to balance that? There are a lot of things that he sees in life that we don't 100% agree on, but being able to accept that, and how does it play into who he's going to become without me pushing all of me on him and influencing him that I want a mini me that's exactly doing everything I want, because it's not what I want. I want him to be able to know and understand, who is he, who does he choose to be. But a lot of times we're not in a situation where we feel as though we really had that choice, because we're influenced so much by what school tells us we have to do, what our parents tell us we have to do, about who we really be. And we spend a lot of time stuck. We're stuck in this mode where we're not able to really identify us. So we get this label, you're a basketball player, and that's who you're destined to be. You start off at the young age, you're that soccer player, and by God, you're going to take that path and just be that soccer player. But it becomes ingrained at us, and we often become confused about who is it we really want to be. Who are we really? And because life is going at such a fast pace that fast pace, we don't stop to really figure it out. We're living these miserable, mediocre lives because we're not able to be who we really want to be. And for me, I'm a writer, I'm a teacher, I'm a single parent, I'm a radio show host. But why do I have to be put into one, little box that labels me? Oh, she's a coach. That's it. I should be able to be all of those different things and learn how I balance that out in my own life. And you find out that you're many things, you have many roles, and you shouldn't have to have this label stuck on you where people automatically judge those things about you. And you learn at times that you've got to step more into one role than the other. And that's why I haven't been here. I wasn't able to be on this past week because I had to be, the mom role had to become the most important role for me that week. And if you guys know, that's one of my biggest priorities in my life is my son and being that mom. And there were things that were happening at the school. And it's ironic that it's happening at this time when we're celebrating Danielle wrote, don't let people pigeonhole you based on their stereotype. Amen. That's right. You don't let people put you, what's that movie where they say don't put baby in the corner? Dirty Dancing. When they say, so you shouldn't be allowing someone to put you in that corner. That's where you stay and you can't grow and you can't do all those things that you want to do. But I had to take this past week off from different things because I had to be more active. There were some incidents and things occurring at my son's school that were causing a lot of divide amongst the different ethnicities within the school. And it made the news, and they had parent-teacher meeting for the parents and different things. But I wanted to be able, I didn't want third-hand information. I wanted to be involved, and I wanted to know what was going on and what I could do to, if anything, help with the situation. So during the times that I would be doing the scope, there would be something, I had to read, I had to look at, or I had to go to the meeting or something. So it threw off the schedule last week. And again, so that's when I had to decide, what am I going to balance out? Am I going to be there to be able to be at the school, or am I going to be doing the scopes at the times that I'm supposed to do them? And so it was that balance of finding out, and that's when all the roles and all the different things, you have to kind of figure out, how does that priority balance out for you? And again, so last week, mom role stepped up for me. So when it comes down to knowing who you really are, you got to be confident in that role, and knowing this is the path that I'm walking, and this is how I'm going to walk through life. And you don't worry about what everybody else thinks about you. I think we get so caught up that we're not allowed to be in who we really are because we're worried about what this person is going to think and how they're going to judge us. Are they going to judge us by, our shape or size? If we want to be on stage speaking, but hey, we're a little overweight, is that what they're going to see? Is that what they're going to judge me by? Or you saw there was a sports I can't remember her name. She was in the Olympics, but she's a very, a heavier woman. But she was winning medals and she was doing her thing. But but then there's a strong feminine side to her when she wasn't playing. She's just very into teaching young girls how to wear their makeup and do different things. But when you look at her and you're trying to judge her, but this woman, she was kicking butt in the Olympics, and then she was coming back and be able to be who she really is. But she she didn't let people say, well, you can, because you're this very fit, kind of bulky woman, you shouldn't be doing this. No, she allowed herself to do both, and she walked confidently in both, and she was being very successful with both. Thank you guys who've shared it. Thank you so much. So it's really, like I said, being confident in who you are, and being, and when I said about people not allowing and worrying about what people think about you, this is just everybody. This is your friends. This is your family. Because our family is not always supportive, and especially when you're starting a business, they love you, but that doesn't mean they support you. They're not like, what do you think you're doing that you can start a business, or you can go into real estate and you're going to buy these commercial apartment buildings and stuff? When you sit there thinking about it, often they're not going to support you, and they're the biggest killers of our dreams, and they can hold you back from being who you really are. And not only that, but what about ourselves and how we hold ourselves back from being who we really are? Because we can't accept who we really are. You know, it starts if we can't accept ourselves, how do we expect somebody else to accept us? So it starts there with saying, being able to be comfortable and confident in who we are, not worrying about what somebody else thinks about us, and being able to step into that, again, with the courage, with the confidence to step into who we truly are. And if you don't feel confident, if you're kind of, just really sitting here thinking, well, who am I? How do I really begin to get back in touch with who I am? Because I've been living this life for so long that somebody else has told me I have to do. The biggest example are the kids who go to college because their parents told them to go to college and they studied the path that their parents had told them to do. And then they wake up one day and realize, oh, hell, I hate this life. This is not what I wanted for me. But they never stopped. They got so lost along the path that they lost track of who am I really? So it may take time to kind of start exploring, trying to figure out, and even, experimenting with different careers and different things, as not that you completely walk away from a job, but you start looking and seeing, well, how can I then transition to this or move to this to really get to what I was passionate about? The more I write, I realize, that's what I love to do as a kid. I love to teach, and I used to love to write. And that's still, I'm coming back full circle to the things that I really was passionate about. I enjoyed being in the military, but it wasn't my passion until I got into a job where I was able to teach. I taught at one of the colleges for 3 years, and it was my best favorite all-time assignment. And that's when I was my happiest, being able to teach. And that's when I go back and now retire, and writing and teaching, it's all coming back for me, that those are the things that I am passionate about, that I love to do, but being able to stand confident in doing those things. So if you're kind of feeling stuck and you're thinking about, well, yeah, I'm not sure, and you need to, start practice being confident. Really start thinking, how can I step more into this confident role of who I am? And it may start looking at who you're surrounding yourself with. Are these people who are constantly pulling you down and not really accepting you because they don't accept you for who you really are? Then they're you got this kind of struggle where you can't be who you really are. So if you're surrounding yourself around people who are telling you, nah, that's not you, but only you know who you really are. I don't care what tests you take, or what you see all these little quizzes coming across and what they'll tell you about you, but it still comes down to, yeah, you take that and think about it for self-awareness, but who are you really, and what life do you really want to live? And you think about, how are you treating yourself? Are you treating yourself in alignment to who you really want to be? If you are the type that believes in, dressing a certain way or being a certain person, but then you got somebody telling you, no, that's not you. Don't wear that color. Don't do that. But are you really, are you neglecting yourself and not letting yourself really be you? So that's just something to think about, the people you're surrounding yourself with. How are you treating yourself? And then you can also, if you want to begin surrounding yourself with people who are going to support your dreams, do you have a mentor? Are you working with a coach? Are you in a mastermind or inner circle or group coaching program where you have other people that are there to help support you and lift you up? We have our inner circle that we do, and I'm not going to talk about it now. If you want more information, you can always email me at cowens@infinitycoaching.net. But there are, ways that you can, most inner circles or group coaching programs are not that expensive compared to one-on-one coaching. So it's something else that you can think about, where, especially if you have that family or you have friends that are kind of pulling you down. And I tell you, kind of having to walk away from a friend who's been there, in the sense that just been there but not really supportive, even though they haven't been supportive, even though they've always been the naysayer in your life, it's still not easy to turn around and say, okay, I'm not going to allow this to happen to me anymore. So again, building that confidence and that courage to really step out into who you really are. And don't allow yourself to be put in that box. If you enjoy being a secretary, embrace it. If you are an artist and you love to paint, or you love to sing, or you want to get into theater, embrace it. If you want to write, like, that's one of the things, and it was just last November that I realized I want to write more. And if that's what you want to do, then embrace it and allow yourself to step into those roles in your life without worrying about what anybody else thinks. And then stop complaining about it. Stop complaining about what you want to have, what you want to do, and just take action. Start stepping into it. It can be small steps and different things you do, but start working towards those goals. I did a scope, I think it was the beginning of the year, where I talked about, your goals, and are you having goals? Are you having resolutions? And really start really thinking about those different things for yourself. And again, stop worrying about what other people think. Get that out of your head and really become comfortable. Again, the confidence, the courage, and being able to step out in that role. And you can change the course. If you had tried something and you found out, no, this wasn't for me, it doesn't mean you have to stay on that path. You can adjust it. You can, change the road and travel down you are. But don't stay on the road that makes it so comfortable that you're living that mediocre life, that you're not pushing yourself forward, that you're not really going to achieve your definition of success. And if I could capitalize the word "you're" there, I would. Because it's not, again, about what somebody else wants for you. It's who you are and what you want. What type of life do you want to live? Who do you really want to be? When that time comes for them to, put you 6 feet under the ground, and do you want to look back and say, I didn't get to live life. I didn't get to be who I really am. There's so many people out there that are walking around who are living but not really living. And I don't think that's how we need to be. Let's stop getting caught up on what everybody thinks about us, everybody putting us in a box, everybody labeling us, and let's really begin to be who we are so we can use our gifts that God has blessed us with to our full potential. And a great example of someone who was on a certain path, and you talk about if you for example, if you people always have this perception, you got to be married, you got to have kids. And I love the example by Shonda Rhimes where she was about to get married. She had been engaged, and it hit her and realized she never wanted to be married. But it was like a judgment against her when, if you have to express that and say, you look at her, beautiful, successful woman, why shouldn't she be married? She needs to be married. She needs that man by her side. But she was able to call off the engagement. It wasn't that she didn't love him or that he didn't love her. It was the fact that she was able to say, this is not what I want. She was again looking at what everybody else expected her to do and wanted her to do. But she was able to, stop and say, I don't want to be married. So she changed that path for her. And when she did it, she danced. She was happy. She was joyful that she was able to say, no, this is not my life. This was going to be somebody else's life, my parents' life, my sister's life. But it wasn't what she wanted. And if you guys don't know who Shonda Rhimes is, she's the creator of Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, and How to Get Away with Murder. So, if I sum it all up, it's kind of like you got to find your magic and believe it. I had saw that on the internet the other day, and it was about finding your magic and believing in it. You can find it, you got to believe in it, and you got to take action. It's about creating it. What do you want to create for you? I love that. Create it. What do you want that to be for you? And so I talked about if you want to be the secretary, embrace it. If you want to be the artist, embrace it. If you want to be single and never get married, embrace it. And so because it is, Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday that we're celebrating it, I'm gonna end this scope with my favorite quote from him. If you've seen me speak, if you heard me talk about to people about their careers in different workshops, this is one of the quotes that I always end with, because to me it sums up on being able to be who we really are. And this is it. It goes, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. And so whatever you choose to be, you choose to be. Be great at it. Do it well. You know, take time to identify what that is for you. And it's okay. Hey, try it. Change the path. But do what's going to, bring that passion and that happiness for you. You don't have to live a miserable life. You don't have to live that mediocre life. So take time, over the next week and kind of think about it, Am I being who I really want to be? I am, and I'm loving life. Once you get to that point where you start to embrace it and you step into it, things will change. And you have that confidence, practice it, work on it. So if you have any questions for me, if you just want any feedback or conversation about it, you can always email me again at cowens@infinitycoaching.net. You can visit my website at infinitycoaching.net. If you like the scopes, please, kind of check that you'll always get that alert for it, and you'll know when I'm on here. Or, I'll be back here Thursday at 5:30 and again Friday at 2 p.m. I thank you guys for taking time out your day, for being here with me. I truly appreciate it. And again, I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your day off, and also think about how you're giving back. If it's simply sending a note to someone who you believe could use that word of encouragement or your support. Thank you so much, Melody. I appreciate you for being here. I know you can't always hop on, so that was a surprise, a wonderful surprise for me to see you here today. Thank you. And so, guys, I'll close here. Thanks again. And until next time, here's to your success. See ya.